Let's explore mindfulness, the unexpected journey of the seventh fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. This evening's lesson is drawn from the meditation manual I'm currently writing, Easy Enlightenment. Our journey begins with mindfulness. And as a disabled bloke with a shit ton of brain damage, I've made neuroscience my hobby. I am no expert, but I have made it my hobby. Every time we breathe in, whether we know it or not, whether we mean to or not, whether we feel it or not, we are accessing our sympathetic nervous system. It is not found in the 3-pound supercomputer between our ears, but rather within the thoracic region or rib cage region of our spinal cord. It did not evolve to indulge or support either extreme of mind blanking or active concentration. Well, then what has it evolved to support? This sympathetic nervous system is wired to perceive in a specific manner. It's wired to perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. What's the advantage of that? And I think it was in the 70s, a world-renowned biologist concluded that all the mysteries of biology only make sense when seen through the lens of evolution. So allow me to take you on a journey with 3 primates having recently climbed out of the trees and onto the plains of Africa. So we're going back maybe 400,000, 500,000 years ago. Between 3 and 500,000 years ago. And probably longer, because these are distant hominids, so maybe 800,000 years ago. I'm guessing at this point. So let's continue. Early hominids leaving the trees, exploring the plains of Africa. The first one is practicing mind blanking, and that boy becomes lunch pretty quickly. The second is practicing active concentration. Man, he is just enthralled with the way the sun reflects off the orange dotted carapace of a ladybug upon an emerald leaf. And in his rapture, he is blind and deaf to everything other than that. He too becomes a predator's lunch. We're left with our third anthropod, who is a twitchy motherfucker. We're talking the Barney Fife of the prehistoric world. And he is just, his perceptions are turned up to 11. He's just noticing sights and sounds and sensations and flavors and scents. And the moment a predator steps on a leaf 20 meters away, that third primate, he's out of there. That's our ancestor. We are ancestors of Paleolithic Barney Fife. That's us. It could be said that vulnerability is the key that opens the door of perception. Perhaps that is why this very popular meditational archetype, or I should say the members of this meditational archetype, are depicted as naked. For a few things represent vulnerability quite like nudity. In addition to perceiving the 5 senses, we are also wired to perceive inwardly. We're wired to perceive emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Now, we could answer the question. This, of course, begs the question, what do we do with that which we notice? Because some of it can be downright troubling. And the answer is We'll explore that in about 12 hours during the next live stream when we explore the eightfold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path meditation. Until then, I want to leave you with a thought. If our sympathetic nervous system has not evolved to support active concentration, then how does that change our relationship to breath? After all, many literal-minded teachers, many rigid teachers insist we're supposed to concentrate on our breath. They might use confusing words and say mindful of breath, but beware of people who treat mindfulness and concentration as synonyms. They're not. They're really not. Concentration takes place in a very discrete region of our prefrontal cortex. Mindfulness takes place in our sympathetic nervous system. They are not the same. So, if we're not supposed to concentrate upon our breathing, then what now defines or exemplifies our relationship to our breath? During mindfulness, our relationship to our breath is very similar to the relationship of a piano student to the metronome. When we're playing with various contemplative exercises, when we notice our body breathing in, we'll silently and mentally recite a bit. And when we are noticing our body breathing out, we can silently and mentally recite a bit. We'll get more into detail on that in about a minute or two. So bottom line, on the path of mindfulness, we treat our breath as a metronome. We don't control it. We dance with it, allowing our mind and our body to notice everything that tumbles or cartwheels across the stage of the nightclub of our mind. Whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, whether that which we notice is glorious or grotesque. I do look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Yes, why? Why does the internet exist? For kitty cat videos, of course. Good morning, James, my friend. It's great to see you. To you, I send a Yoda high five. We can learn a lot about the easy and quick path to enlightenment from kitty cats. But one thing we can do that kitty cats cannot do is chant. And I'd like for us to start our practice and end our practice by chanting a brief excerpt from Yongjio Xuanjui's Song of Enlightenment. Yes, I know it sounds like I was speaking backwards. So let's see. I'm going to tap this button. I'm going to tap button 14. And hopefully that will do the deal. Please chant with me. Sudden understanding is Hatha meditation. Every practice and perfection present in your body. Quick explanation. With the wisdom of mindfulness latent within our sympathetic nervous system, the wisdom of meditation pre-installed within its parasympathetic counterpart, and empathy, part and parcel of our anterior cingulate gyrus, we are already wired to master, no less practice, the Eightfold Path. Let us recapture our momentum. Sudden understanding is Tathagata meditation. Every practice and perfection present in your body. This expansive existence look real in a dream. Once you're awake, the whole universe is gone. Like the vivid experiences of a dream that vanish upon waking. So every facet of experience could feel incorporeal as we relax into our exhalation. Synonyms are fun, aren't they? We could call it, whether we call it Sati, Passaddhi, Zen, Proto-Zen, Chan, Dhyana, Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, Ati Yoga, Dzogchen, and Triksho. It's just mindfulness and meditation. About 100 years before the advent of the Buddha, be he real or merely archetypical, it is said that Lao Tzu composed or collected the 81 poems of the Tao Te Ching. In it is mentioned the three treasures. And a number of centuries later, Ancestor Wu insisted that the three treasures were Jing, or form, or body, Qi, or breath, and Shen, or mind. It's been my experience, and the experience of many other meditation teachers, that the simplest way to explain meditation and master meditation is through this lens. We're going to begin by playing with a 3-syllable exercise and then move to a 1-syllable exercise. We organize our practice in terms of inhalation and exhalation, or qi. During our inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite, that would be Shen, a specific phrase. That phrase is sitting tall, which is not an adjective. We're not lying to ourselves about what we're doing, but rather it is an instruction that we're giving to our body, or Jing. We're instructing our body to generate a vertical traction between our tush and our head, as if removing our head from the warm, dark place we sometimes keep it. During our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite Shen, another bit of instructions to our body, Jing. That instruction is simply the 3-syllable verb, relaxing. So in short, as we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite sitting tall. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite relaxing. There's no need to grotesquely twist your legs into a pretzel. Simply stack one shin upon the other in a almost parallel manner. Ask any student of the ballet and they'll tell you that the knee is a hinge joint, and therefore we turn out from the ball joints of our hips. Let gravity do the work for you. Persist with this posture and with it for at least 5 minutes every 12 hours, and by a week or two, sitting will become very easy. You can master sitting in 15 weeks. The first week, practice 5 minutes every 12 hours. The second week, 10 minutes every 12 hours. The third week, 15 minutes every 12 hours, of course, relying upon your smartphone's timer. Proceeding thusly, by the conclusion of the 15th week, sitting for 75 minutes will be effortless. For a 15-minute lesson and a 60-minute sit. Because we were progressing gradually, it'll create very little disruption physically or circumstantially or interpersonally. Some meditate with their eyes wide open, some with their eyes tightly shut, some with their eyes relaxed, some with their eyes at half-mast, some gazing upon the sky, some gazing at the horizon, some gazing at the earth. Listen to your body. Do what seems to work best in the moment. Whether you've been to the shore or you've seen photographs of the shore, most of us know what a pier looks like. Horizontal planks and railings placed upon vertical pilings. As we sit nice and tall, we can feel like a piling. The piling remains in the low tide and in high tide. When it is splashed by waves or rubbed gently by the troughs between the waves. Our job is not to mind blank or to concentrate, but to be vulnerable to whatever we experience. As we breathe in, we're wired to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. As we breathe out, we're wired to physically relax and mentally release. That doesn't mean we stop noticing. It means we dial down our resistance to the present moment, whether it's pleasurable, painful, interesting, boring, glorious, or grotesque. Having endured my silliness for the last few breaths, let's switch the page, turn the page to the one-syllable version. During our qi inhalation, we can silently and mentally Shen recite the instructions to our body, Jing, which is tall. During our Qi exhalation, we can silently and mentally Shen recite the verbal instruction to our body, ease or relax. Ease is a synonym for relax, just like in the 1970s musical The Wiz, where we were taught to ease on down the road. And just as all organic material eventually decomposes, such is the fate of the piling of a pier. Such is the fate of our body. Some say that when the body dies, so does the brain, and when the brain dies, so does the mind. Other people say that the mind travels on. It's not our job to be omniscient. It's not our job to figure that out. Our job is simple. Notice and relax as we sit. Having climbed to contemplative cruising altitude together as a team, let us meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo under the gut. Oopsie, Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo. Let's take a moment to notice the hands. So I'm going to now subject you to lap cam, which sounds a trifle salacious, does it not? Let's hit button 4 and see if that does the trick. Okay, all the way down. So what I'm going to do is put my right hand in my lap. My left hand's on top of that. My thumbs meet together, and at the level of my navel. Will you do it perfect the first time? No. If you do it incorrectly, is the earth going to open up and swallow you whole? No. That hardly happens to any of my students. you are sensitive to chi or you have a bad back, you may wish to not touch your thumbs together and just rest your hands flat in your lap. We're sitting like the piling of a pear. Sometimes we're, and like a piling splashed by waves. We are sometimes splashed with sights or sounds or sensations or flavors or scents or the like. As we breathe in, we can experience them dualistically, some pleasurable and some painful. As we relax into our exhalation, we can experience them non-dually, simply as sights or sounds or sensations or flavors or scents. Similarly, we might be splashed with emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, or imaginings, or a combination thereof. As we breathe in, we can dualistically experience them. Some is pleasurable, some is painful, some is interesting, some is boring. As we relax into our exhalation, they could settle down into the non-duality of simply being emotions or intentions or thoughts or memories or imaginings. Our job is not to control our experience, our job is to dance with it. Let us seal this morning's practice by returning to the opening chant from a selection from the Song of Enlightenment. Together. Sudden understanding is Tathagata meditation. Every practice and perfection present in your body. Quick explanation. With the wisdom of mindfulness latent within our sympathetic nervous system and the wisdom of meditation pre-installed within our parasympathetic counterpart, and empathy part and parcel of our anterior cingulate gyrus, we are already wired to master, no less practice, the Eightfold Path. Let us recapture our momentum by chanting again. Sudden understanding is Tathagata meditation, every practice and perfection present in your body. The 6 facts of existence look real in a dream. Once you're awake, the whole universe is gone. Like the vivid experiences of a dream that vanish upon waking, so every facet of experience could feel incorporeal as we relax into our exhalation. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 11 hours or so, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.